Number 10. The Facebook Live. A video has recently resurfaced of Justin and Hailey on Facebook Live in May of 2020. In the clip, Hailey admitted to the constant comparisons that she gets to Selena Gomez, and she says they're overwhelming. Quote, "The ways that I feel like people have made comparisons and just put me in a position where they've really made me feel like less of a woman. It's not easy." But while she's pouring her heart out on camera, Justin is not exactly being supportive. The whole time she's talking, he keeps a poker face and gazes blankly off camera. Now that people are rewatching the video almost 3 years later, they're pretty shocked by his lack of response. In fact, his facial expression is so vacant that some people joked that he looks like a cardboard cutout or a green screen projection. Fans felt that his body language was a major red flag for their relationship. Someone in the comments suggested that Justin was being hypnotized to sit there. Most people could agree that he genuinely looked like he would rather be anywhere else. So was this clip an indicator that their relationship is not that great behind the scenes, or is everyone just reading too much into it? Number 9. Justin screaming at Hailey. In July of 2021, the couple were in Las Vegas to celebrate Kendall Jenner's new tequila brand, 818 Tequila. After the night, a TikTok user posted a video of Justin and Hailey leaving the club, with fans and bodyguards around them. In the video, they could be seen holding hands, but as they were walking down the halls of the hotel, Justin very clearly looked like he was yelling at her. The clip went viral on TikTok with more than 1.2 million views, and it drew concern from fans everywhere. From that point on, the comment section was filled with theories about why he was screaming at her, and many people put it down to a sign of toxicity in their relationship. After all, who yells at their partner like that? Before it was deleted, fans seemed to turn on Justin for the way he was treating Hailey. Although some came to his defense and claimed that he wasn't actually yelling at her out of anger, but maybe out of excitement. Sadly though, that was far from the only video that came out about them showing him losing control of his temper. Number 8. Running away from Hailey. In September of 2021, there was a shocking video posted on Twitter, which showed Justin running away from paparazzi and fully leaving Hailey while she falls on the ground. In the clip, he gets out of the car with his skateboard and just takes off without saying anything. At first, it looks like he's alone just doing his own thing, but 1 second later, Hailey literally falls out of the car and looks flustered, especially at the fact that she got left behind. To make things so much worse, this all happened on a busy street, so plenty of people watched it. She then sprints after him, obviously trying to catch up, but Justin is already out of sight. The whole thing must have been incredibly humiliating for her, and that's exactly what the comments said. Someone wrote, "I know this keeps her awake at night, and that's why you shouldn't chase men." However, fans were also very sympathetic to her situation, considering that a lot of people could relate to having a partner that just doesn't care for you. One user wrote, "As much as we may not like her, no female deserves to be treated like this by their husband. She deserves better regardless." Justin says, "Don't touch me." Obviously, every relationship is different and every couple has different boundaries with each other, but fans were still pretty shocked to see a video of Hailey making Justin physically uncomfortable with her touch. In the video, they are doing a live stream of some kind. He's sitting down casually while she's standing behind him with her arms crossed. She then tries to be affectionate and put her arms around him, which he instantly reacts to. Justin becomes visibly annoyed and says, "Babe, I can't. Don't touch me right now." At first, Hailey cannot tell if he's being serious and she just keeps her arms there. He then says, "Just in general, that just happens sometimes. I just need some space." To be fair, he's trying to be nice about it and communicate with her honestly. But in terms of his body language, you can tell that he's not really loving the way he's being touched. A lot of people called out Hailey for disrespecting his boundaries and making him stressed. But of course, there were also those fans who felt that this was just a sign that he straight up doesn't like her anymore, because he keeps getting annoyed with every little thing that she does. Hailey was a stalker. Recently, there's been evidence posted that proves the model was a hardcore Justin Bieber fan for years before they got together. In fact, she would often tweet about his relationship with Selena and how much he shipped them as a couple. In a deleted tweet from 2011, she wrote, "I don't care what anyone says, but Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez together is the definition of a teenage dream." Of course, that must have been pretty embarrassing for her, but to be fair, she was only around 14 or 15 when she posted that. Soon after that, a damning video appeared online from 2012 that shows Hailey lurking in the background while Justin met with fans. She was in a crowd trying to get close to him. This was obviously long before she was a part of his inner circle. They were first introduced in 2009, so at the time of the video they would have met before, but judging by that footage, Justin still treated her like just another fan. One of the most liked comments under that video says, "She was the groupie with the most financial resources to keep stalking, and eventually came out on top. Money does buy love indeed." indeed. The Apple Music interview. In the midst of the drama, fans have continually brought up an interview of Justin talking about the downsides of his relationship. Apparently he struggled after realizing that his marriage to Hailey wouldn't instantly make him a better person. He said, "It's a journey. I remember when I first got married, I hit a little bit of an emotional breakdown because I thought marriage was going to fix all of my problems and it didn't." He went on to say that he felt like a hypocrite because he wanted Hailey to do something that he wasn't doing for himself. Although Justin was obviously speaking from the heart here, many fans were mocking the video by saying that he only feels that way because he's with the wrong person. Shortly after they tied the knot, Hailey and Justin did an interview with Vogue, where they talked about going to a marriage counselor. Hailey said, "The thing is, marriage is very hard. That is a sentence that you should lead with. It's really effing hard," which is something that they could both agree on. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get divorced, but some would say it's not a good sign. Slams the door on Hailey. In 2020, Justin got a ton of flack from fans in a paparazzi video that went viral. Despite claims that he is a gentleman, his behavior around his wife has been far from chivalrous, and that only refers to what's actually been caught on camera. In a shocking clip, the singer pulled up in a black chauffeured SUV. As he got out of the car, he looked visually annoyed, as if he just had some kind of meltdown. Without looking back, he carelessly slams the door in Hailey's face. She tragically follows him without any pushback and even tries to point him in the right direction. The only thing she said was, "Babe, I think this is the right way." Of course, a lot of people were sickened by the whole video because it really looked like a textbook toxic relationship. Seeing Hailey be automatically apologetic after Justin clearly embarrassed her in front of everyone was triggering for a lot of viewers. One person wrote, "She needs to wake up. If a man treats you like that, he doesn't love you." Another person commented, "Ugh, if I was Hailey, I would get a divorce and move out of the country." So it seems like people were encouraging her to break up. The argument on Live. In a Facebook Live, Justin and Hailey can be seen sitting on a couch answering questions about his Lyme disease diagnosis. They get asked whether or not he's scared about the diagnosis, and even though the question was clearly directed at Justin, Hailey decides to answer instead. Midway through her response, he then cuts her off and says, "She was asking me." What follows is a long silence, which eventually breaks into an awkward laugh. He then says, "They're asking me because it's my Lyme disease, it's not your Lyme disease." In response, Hailey says that she's the one who's been going to all his doctor's appointments with him, but Justin cuts her off again and says, "Listen here, woman," which obviously was the worst thing he could have possibly said. After that, they decide to end the live stream, but not before Hailey made a sarcastic comment about his attitude. At this point, it's pretty obvious there is a lot of tension between the two of them, which might have been exacerbated by Justin's health condition. At the time, he also had a serious case of mono, which he says was affecting his skin, brain function, and energy. The arranged marriage. In 2020, Justin sat down with Demi Lovato on the Ellen DeGeneres show and talked about how she met his wife. He said, "I think because she was raised Christian and they found out that, I think it was an arranged marriage, I'm pretty sure." Looking back now, it was definitely an arranged marriage. They set this whole thing up. He explains that since Hailey was raised Christian, her dad Stephen Baldwin decided to introduce them because he thought that they would have similar values and believe the same thing. Justin said, "It was definitely an arranged marriage now that I'm thinking about it. Goodness gracious." Even though Demi Lovato laughed off the idea, Justin just kept on repeating how he thought it was an arranged marriage. Of course, he was clearly joking, but a lot of fans have taken this interview as proof and just run with it. In fact, there's been a ton of videos posted where people tried to use this to explain how their marriage was a setup, and Justin was tricked. Their first meeting was all the way back in 2009, and it was actually captured on film. So everyone can judge for themselves whether or not they think it was arranged. Number 1, allegations of cheating. Justin got together with Hailey very quickly after he ended things with Selena in June of 2018. So ever since then, cheating rumors have followed the couple. For her part, Hailey has adamantly denied this was the case, and she said that Selena and Justin weren't as serious as everyone thought when they got back together in 2018. She said, "As a woman, I would never want to get into a relationship with someone and be engaged to them and be getting married to them and be thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder if that door was really closed. I know for a fact that the reason we were able to get back together was because it was very much completely closed." But Selena recently commented on a TikTok in a way that suggests that was not the whole truth. One of her fans posted a video saying, "Does anyone just feel really bad for Selena Gomez? Like, can you imagine going through a breakup so publicly with a guy that you were in love with for like 7 years and then like 2 months later he just marries someone?" In response, she wrote, "That made me cry, thank you." So even though Hailey swears that there was no overlap whatsoever, the timeline has always been pretty shady.
Number 10, the wedding ring. It seems the allegedly very happy couple is having some trouble in paradise, and it looks like they will continue to deny it. Just recently, Britney was spotted without her wedding ring, and Sam seemed to take note, and was seen without his just days later. The singer was caught by paparazzi at the end of March, headed to a private jet with her manager Kate Hudson, as they headed off to Hawaii, oddly enough without her husband. Then just 2 days later, Sam was ringless as he left the gym, which only added evidence that the 10-month marriage could already be ending. For two people in the public eye so consistently, many fans believe that this is a subtle hint to the beginning of the end. Britney's recent post didn't help with the speculations as well. She posted a short clip mid-March of her trip to Mexico, captioning the video with, "Throwback to Mexico before I got married. So happy and silly here." This obviously sparked some worry amongst her fans, with one commenting, "So she's not happy now?" Another added, "She's obviously not happy now. This marriage seems shammy." Since getting flooded with comments, she has since turned off her comments on Instagram, but it hasn't stopped the talking on other platforms. Even with the allegations of her relationship, Sam's representative has since confirmed that there's no marital issues going on between the two. His publicist added that he took off his ring and wasn't able to attend the trip because he is filming a movie. Even if that is so, Britney and her representative still haven't come forward as to where her ring is. Number 9. The constant fighting. Speculations about the couple being on the rocks isn't new news though. Back in the fall of last year, a new report emerged claiming that the couple was having constant fights as a result of Britney's alleged mood swings. A source at the time told Globe and Mail that Sam's marriage to Britney was seriously a heavy lift, claiming that he is burnt out and ready to get out of there as soon as possible. Allegedly, the newlyweds' non-stop fighting was partially due to her erratic moods, but also to do with Britney's neediness. An insider to the press said, "Sam's had the patience of a saint, but he's seriously worn down. If he so much as heads off for a workout, she freaks out and gives him the third degree," even going on to claim that Britney was essentially treating her new husband as a glorified assistant. Though Sam has shown his protective side online towards Britney, the source continues to reveal how exhausted he really is behind the scenes. An insider shares by saying, "He has to wait on her hand and foot and be her sounding board for every little decision. He's seriously thinking about a trip away with his friends and his sisters, maybe a trio back to Iran to see his folks," adding at the end how crucial it is for him to clear his head. The couple didn't comment at the time about these alleged fights, so take these claims with a grain of salt. But either way, it does sound like the relationship could be more messy than we would like to think. Number 8. The intervention. This past year has looked to be a whirlwind for the singer, from getting married to clapping back at fans who called for a wellness check, as well as becoming upset when fans began filming her when she had a rare dinner at a restaurant. It's definitely been a lot. After sources claimed to the press that her inner circle, including her manager and husband, were planning an intervention, she was pretty furious. A source even said that the reason for this intervention was because the singer was becoming so erratic that they feared that she was going to pass away. Britney then took to Instagram to explain her side of the story and address all the allegations. She wrote, "It makes me sick to my stomach that it's even legal for people to make up stories about how I almost passed away. I mean, at some point, enough is enough." She added, "I probably have to stop posting on Instagram even though I enjoy it. There's obviously a lot of people who don't wish me well." Sam came forward and told Access Hollywood that an intervention didn't happen. He said, "My wife is in full control of her life and will continue to make all the decisions involving her care, regardless of the circumstance. Speculation on her health is inappropriate and should end immediately." Apparently, a house was going to be rented for 2 months while she underwent treatment, which would include counseling, but it was cancelled because she became too aware of what was going on. Number 7. The prenup. With Britney's $60 million net worth, you can imagine that there's definitely going to be a prenup involved. But this prenup seems to be a little bit more hardcore, with some calling it ironclad. A source told TMZ that the prenup will ensure that Sam won't get a dollar of anything Britney has made in her career up until this point, saying she will retain her entire fortune if things go south for her and Sam. Allegedly, this prenup was written over the course of her engagement and has been thoroughly looked over by her lawyers. When Sam noticed that people were talking about the prenup, he joked on his Instagram story, writing, "Thank you for the concern of the prenup. Of course, writing an ironclad prenup to protect my Jeep and shoe collection in case she dumps me one day." Many did agree though, as fans came forward admitting how they don't necessarily trust Sam. One Twitter user wrote, "Britney has suffered to get all of her property in her hands. The thought of her ever losing part of it to someone else is honestly just so nauseating." Number 6. Gold digger. Not long after Britney and Sam got engaged, many fans were not too sure about how they felt about the whole thing. During her long battle to escape her conservatorship, Sam was always standing right beside her, looking to support the singer even through some of the most difficult years of her life. Though she won a huge victory of ending her conservatorship and with getting engaged at the time, Sam. Fans still believed that we weren't totally in the clear yet. Sure, many were happy for her, but others couldn't help but notice some red flags popping up. And not surprisingly, fears started circulating that Sam was only in it for the money. This of course would be a pretty long con by Sam, as the two have been together for years. But a few believed it was a gain to fame, money, and live a more lavish lifestyle. The fear seems to come to a head when Sam's ex-girlfriend spoke to TMZ in an interview where she discussed the newly engaged couple. She said to the press, "He finally hit the jackpot." Though she did say she was very happy for the two of them, when asked her thoughts on if he had any ulterior motives, she responded by saying, "Hollywood, it's so hard to tell, but he's so charming and such a sweet guy that I really hope not for her sake." She also added, "She's been through enough." Even if this did seem like a pretty nice blessing from his former girlfriend, others weren't so sure, noticing that after announcing the engagement, he began appearing in the spotlight much more frequently, leaving a few fans to believe he might just be enjoying it a little too much. Number 5. Controlling. After she escaped her dad, fans didn't stop worrying about the singer. Many were asking the question, is Sam the one in control now? After getting engaged, it was reported that Sam began taking on much more of the responsibility of Britney, leaving fans worried that he was now the boss of her. An insider who spoke to Radar explained how Britney relies heavily on her then fiance, saying that Sam is now the boss. Understandably, after everything she has been through, Britney doesn't trust a lot of people, which is why she is relying so heavily on Sam. The insider went on to say, all she has is Sam, which is why everything is going through him. Even simple press requests are now going through Sam. Seems like Sam is very aware of this though, and the power that comes with essentially managing all of Britney's assets. The source shares, Britney is a cash machine. After what happened with her dad, he knows why people are frightened. He understands the power of being engaged to someone so powerful. Regardless as to if he truly does understand, fans can't seem to shake the concern that he is just a little bit more controlling than he's letting on. Number 4. The ex. Britney's ex-husband Jason Alexander had some suspicions of his own when it came to his ex's engagement. During an interview with the Inside Edition, Jason shared his true opinion on the whole relationship, claiming he believes that none of it is real at all. He shared, "I'm always going to love her, and if she's happy with Sam, then that's what's going to happen, and I'm happy for her." But when the interviewer asked if he believed it was all real, he responded by simply saying no. Jason didn't stop there though, and went on to crash Britney's wedding before getting arrested for trespassing. 3 months after crashing the wedding, he appeared on the podcast 1 Degree of Scandalous and shared his side of the story. He revealed, "She called me on Monday, which was probably the 7th. It was a couple of days before the wedding. We spoke for about 20 minutes. Nothing was brought up about the wedding taking place at all." He went on to claim, "It was kind of a flirty conversation." When asked about what he noticed when he crashed the wedding, he said, "Maybe I wasn't on the guest list. Either way, this is Britney's wedding day and she's locked in the bedroom." Number 3. The pretend choke. What most people are calling just an absolute red flag is the weird photo the couple took together. The photo shows Sam's right hand behind Britney's neck and his left hovering in the air around her chin, looking as though he was going to choke her. Britney captioned the photo with, "Happy B-Day to me." While she did look happy in the photo, many Instagram users felt concerned at Sam's weird pretend choke. One fan wrote, "I feel like this is a red flag. Hands around your neck, this is horrifying." Another added, "His stance is aggressive," which is a comment that ended up getting thousands of likes in agreement. Fans even urged her to run, saying, "Are you serious? He looks like he's about to choke you. Run, Brit. Happy birthday, but run." I have to admit the picture is a little weird, but what do you guys think? Number 2. Unsupportive dad. Though it looks like Britney is typically pretty happy with Sam, there's definitely one person who absolutely does not approve, and that's her dad, Jamie. A close source to the star revealed in 2016, Britney's dad does not like this guy at all. Jamie has some reservations that he is worried that Sam may be after her money. But after getting out of her strict conservatorship, it really doesn't matter what her dad thinks. This hasn't stopped Sam from sharing his opinions on Jamie though. Sam shared online, "Now it's important for people to understand that I have zero respect for someone trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way." He even went on to say, "In my opinion, James is a total D. I won't be going into details because I've always respected our privacy. But at the same time, I didn't come to this country to not be able to express my opinion and freedom." Number 1. The affair allegations. Just a few months into the relationship, rumors started circulating the couple, relating to cheating allegations. Morgan Osmond from the Bad Girls Club came forward in January 2017. She told the press, "I have videos and images of our real relationship. Britney, he is using you." She posted a photo photo at the time which showed herself and Sam kissing. She claimed that the two of them were having an affair. She said, "I don't know why everyone is attacking me. Sam is the cheater. I feel sorry for Britney Spears. She seems like a good person." Not long after these allegations, Sam discovered a fake Bumble account using his photos. He then took to Instagram with a screenshot of the profile with a red X writing, "Not on any dating apps." Neither Britney nor Sam commented on these allegations at the time, and Morgan has since deleted the photo. But many fans think the whole thing is just pretty sketchy. Number 10, the breakup. The rumors are out and it looks like Taylor and Joe have called it quits on their 6-year relationship. This has clearly left fans devastated and wondering if this could be true. A source close to Taylor confirmed the news to the press and said, "Taylor and Joe broke up a few weeks ago. They simply grew apart and plan to remain friends." This left fans completely confused and many believe the couple are soulmates. Taylor even said when referring to her song Lavender Haze, "Like my relationship for 6 years, we've had to dodge weird rumors. Tabloid stuff and we usually just ignore it. This song is a story about how the act of ignoring that stuff to protect the real stuff." In an Instagram video posted in October before her album release, Midnights, she shared that she learned the term lavender haze from Mad Men. I guess theoretically, when you're in lavender haze, you'll do anything to stay there and not let people bring you down off of that cloud. Entertainment Tonight first reported the breakup on Saturday and claimed that the couple actually ended things a few weeks ago. A source claims the breakup was not dramatic, going on to say the relationship had just run its course. This hasn't stopped fans from speculating what the true reason for the breakup is though. Fans began believing that their split could be from the lyrics on her album Folklore, and this could be long time coming, with some speculating that the two could be on the rocks since back in 2020. Where her album Lovers was packed with more upbeat pop songs, Folklore was something different altogether. One fan wrote at the time, "Did Taylor and Joe break up? These songs are giving me strong breakup vibes." Listeners definitely had some questions when they listened to her song Exile, which is about two exes reflecting on their failed relationship. Taylor sings in it, "I'm not your problem anymore, so who am I offending now? I think I've seen this film before and I'm leaving out the side door." Taylor has since revealed her creative process behind Folklore though. She tweeted at the time, "In isolation, my imagination has run wild, and this album is the result. I've told these stories to the best of my ability with all the love, wonder, and whimsy that they deserve." Regardless of her admitting these stories are from her imagination, it hasn't stopped fans from believing there could be a few possible more problems in her relationship from earlier on. Number 9, secretive. This couple has been very secretive ever since they reportedly met at the Met Gala in 2016. It was speculated that for Taylor it was love at first sight based on her lyrics from her 2017 song Dress. A few months after reportedly meeting, Taylor attended a Kings of Leon show with her friends, which Joe also attended. When rumors started circulating the couple was together back in 2017, a source claimed that this wasn't new news, revealing that the two had been together for months before that. They said at the time, "This isn't a new couple alert or a secret relationship. The only people this has been a secret to is the media because of all of that us." They continued by saying, "Taylor and Joe's closest friends and their families were aware that they had been together for several months and had known each other for a long time before." Joe first spoke about Taylor during an interview with British Vogue in 2018. He said, "I'm aware people want to know the side of things, but I think we've been successfully very private and that is now sunk in for people. But I really prefer to talk about work." Over the years of their relationship together, they have refused to talk openly about their relationship, but have had multiple appearances together. Taylor shared why she doesn't like to discuss her relationship with Joe openly during an interview with Elle. She said at the time, "I've learned that if I talk about my relationship, people think it's up for discussion, and our relationship isn't up for discussion." She continued by sharing, "If you and I were having a glass of wine right now, we'd be talking about it. But it's just that it goes out into the world, and that's where the boundary is, and that's where my life has become manageable." But since this relationship has been kept under wraps, do you think there could be a few more problems that they wouldn't like to admit behind the scenes? Number 8, we have the Grammys. Taylor and Joe have never walked a red carpet together, and the 2023 Grammys were no exception. Even with Taylor's 4 nominations, she walked on the red carpet alone. Joe only ended up giving his long-term girlfriend a subtle shout-out when he shared a photo of the singer's cat Meredith, but that was really about it. Joe said back in 2022, "It's not really because I want to be guarded and private, it's a response to something else. We live in a culture that's so increasingly intrusive. The more more you give, even if you don't give it, something will be taken. This is especially strange though, considering Joe hasn't even been to the Grammys yet, even opting out of the event when he won part of the writing team for Folklore. Others have wondered if maybe Joe just doesn't handle living in Taylor's level of fame, especially at an event like this, considering he's a more lower profile actor. When asked about this in an interview, he responded by saying, "It's not something I think about, unless I'm in a situation like this and someone says, 'What's it like?' and then I have to think about what to say about it." I really do think it would be something that's very hard to ignore though, especially dating someone with such a large fan base. Number 7. Karlie Kloss. If you're a true Swiftie, I'm sure you know about the Karlie Kloss rumors. These two have had a rumored romantic relationship for ages, as well as fans speculating about Taylor's sexuality. Taylor is the queen of Easter eggs in her songs, and many think she could be hinting that there is something a little bit more going on with her friendship with Karlie. The two became friends back in 2013 when they met backstage at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. But after not being photographed together since 2018, fans have speculated that the two had a falling out. But could the two have maybe been something more? Could there be some jealousy when Joe stepped into the picture? Karlie and Taylor were lovingly named Kaylor back in 2014 when they were constantly being photographed and deemed inseparable. But after Taylor didn't attend Karlie's wedding in 2018 and Karlie didn't go to Taylor's birthday party that same year, people knew something was up. More recently though, with Folklore coming out, fans began digging into the true meaning behind these songs. Her song Illicit Affairs, Seven, and Betty were believed to be a message to fans that she could maybe be hiding some secret feelings. Fans took to Twitter at the time, with one user writing, "Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss have been dating for 7 years, you can't convince me otherwise. And this is just more proof." Swifties lost their mind after Karlie posted a nearly identical photo to Taylor's album cover, writing "My Happy Place." There are even entire websites dedicated to these theories regarding the two stars. Taylor has shared a few things regarding this album though, and has said a few words about it in her Instagram. She wrote, "Folklore is a collection of songs and stories that flowed like a stream of consciousness. Not only my own stories, but also writing from the perspective of people I've never met, people I've known, and those I wish I hadn't." Continuing on, she wrote, "The lines between fantasy and reality blur, and the boundaries between truth and fiction almost become indiscernible. Speculation over time becomes fact. What do you guys think? Could there have been something more to this relationship?" Number 6. The Rejected Proposal. Though Taylor has revealed that her songs are mostly fiction that is based on her personal life, it's hard to not think that Champagne Problems from her album Evermore isn't about Joe. Champagne Problems is focused on a proposal, but the song doesn't end with the woman saying yes. Could this actually be with the reality of what happened? In her note on Evermore, Taylor talked about her song Champagne Problems, writing, "It's the one where longtime college sweethearts had a very different plan for the same night, one to end it and one who brought a ring." Even though she of course has never said the song was about Joe at all, her performance recently may be evidence enough. In a recent viral TikTok video with more than 3.4 million views, it shows Taylor looking like she's crying while singing the song. One user took to Twitter and wrote, "Is this why she was crying during Champagne Problems, because they broke up?" As Taylor continues her Eras tour, I'm sure we're gonna see more Easter eggs being dropped. Number 5. Midnight Rain. Could Taylor's song Midnight Rain be another look into her very private relationship? This song is about leaving behind a comfort of a healthy relationship to avoid settling. The lyrics make fans believe she's discussing her relationship with the lyrics, "He wanted it comfortable, I wanted that pain. He wanted a bride, I was making my own name. Chasing that fame, he stayed the same." Singing about a partner that was maybe just a little too perfect for her. There have been many theories as to who this song could be about, with some suggesting that it's dedicated to her ex, Tom Hiddleston, or Taylor Lautner, or even Karlie Kloss. But since the breakup rumors have come out, some now believe this song is for Joe. One fan wrote on Twitter, "Okay, now I'm wondering if Midnight Rain is really about Joe instead of Tom." Another added the recent news, "So Midnight Rain was really about Joe this whole time," followed by some frowning emojis. If this is true, fans are looking to be pretty devastated. Number 4. The Set List. Looked like Taylor might actually be hinting at the breakup during her Eras tour by changing up the set list. Very last minute. Taylor ended up swapping out her song Invisible String, which appears to be about how fate brought her and Joe together. She switched it with the song The One. This has led fans to speculate that she did this to reflect what was going on in her personal life. Some of the lyrics in The One include, "If my wishes came true, it would have been you," and "You were the greatest loves of all time are over now." One fan wrote on Twitter, "Guys, if she changed Invisible String to The One because of the breakup, I do have to admit this one is a pretty clear hint to fans." One disappointed fan posted on TikTok TikTok their feelings over the breakup and the Easter eggs from Taylor, writing, "This was not the Easter egg I was hoping for this weekend. I can't imagine Joe is loving all the attention that Taylor's famous Easter eggs are bringing to the breakup." Number 3. Never seen together. These two have always gone to extreme lengths in order to keep their private life private. A source even told The Sun that the singer flew to see Joe in London via private jet, and her security has made it a military-like mission to prevent her from being seen. Even sharing, she's been walking around with Joe in London using disguises like scarves and hats to keep her identity under wraps. But why no photos, and why are they rarely seen out together at all? A source close to the star told the press, Joe doesn't like attention or have any interest in being a celebrity. Taylor reportedly feared making the same past mistakes with Joe and is willing to go through these lengths in order to maintain their privacy. A Taylor insider told Hollywood Life she has been insanely private with Joe. She wanted to get to know him without all the chaos. She is terrified of making the same mistakes with her relationship with Joe. She is doing everything she can to protect her love life. All the secrecy could possibly have taken a toll on the couple, especially as Joe isn't really a fan of the Hollywood life anyways. Number 2. Rumors. The couple's relationship has suffered through many rumors over the years, but could this one be the final straw? Through major publications are sharing that the two have broken up, it could just be a split, or it could just possibly be another rumor. The couple has desperately tried to hide from these rumors over the years, but with Taylor being such a huge name, this is nearly impossible. A few fans have begun speculating that the two could maybe just be going through a little bit of separation, considering their very busy schedules. There's been no response from either Joe or Taylor, which is just leading the media even more into a frenzy. The biggest evidence to support this theory is in her recent release of her song All the Girls You Loved Before, which is a romantic song which many believe has to be about Joe. A few Swifties have taken their theories to the comment section, with one writing, "According to these news articles, they broke up weeks ago, but this song was also released by them. There's no way they broke up." Another added, "Am I the only one who finds the release timing of this song weird, considering what just happened? So, could this just be a rumor, or a break for some space, or is this the end of an era?" Number 1. The concerts. This was a big sign that trouble was brewing between the stars. The two seemed to be completely fine, as just this past fall, they were seen in New York City and even on vacation to the Bahamas last summer, which was reportedly full of PDA. But as Taylor continues her Eras tour, Joe has been nowhere to be seen at any of her recent concerts. Even though they reportedly vowed to remain friends, could there be a bit more tension between them than sources would like us to believe? But maybe for Joe, it's good to not attend, considering it's looking like Taylor is really channeling her feelings into her music. And we all know how much he hates the spotlight. 10. The rebound. Is Taylor using Maddie as a rebound from her ex Joe? With her split from Joe reportedly being not too long ago, it has some fans speculating that she is moving on just a little too fast. Taylor had a very private relationship with Joe for 6 years before reportedly ending it earlier this year. But what does Joe think of all this? Fans were surprised after Taylor said, "I've just never been this happy before in my life," and believed that she could be in the honeymoon phase with Maddie. A source close to Joe told the press, "Joe feels slighted and is distraught after seeing her budding relationship with Matt, but is doing his best to keep busy and focus on himself." A few fans were also concerned that there could be some overlap between the two men, but the insider did deny that, saying Joe was aware that Taylor and Maddie were making music together and collaborating. She told him that they had become friends and he trusted her. What do you guys think about Maddie and Taylor? Could this last, or is this just a fling? Number 9. Blindsided. Another person who seemed to be shocked that Taylor and Maddie were reportedly together is Maddie's ex-girlfriend. His ex is Meredith Michelson, the professional model who has some thoughts about her ex's new relationship. Meredith was reportedly blindsided when she heard about the alleged romance. A report in the Mirror claims that the model told her friends, "I hope he treats her better than he treated me." The article goes on to claim that Maddie was actually staying at Meredith's apartment and was still dating her when he spent several days with Taylor at an LA recording studio. A source close to the model said, "All the time Maddie was in the studio with Taylor, she thought nothing of it. He'll spend the day in the studio and then he'll come home to her. Allegedly, it only gets worse." An insider reveals he just ghosted her and that was it. Then 4 weeks later, he went public with Taylor. A representative came forward following the release of this report and told Mirror, "It is Maddie who should have to explain himself on these matters, not Meredith." Number 8. Fan reactions. With many Swifties taking to Twitter following the news of the reported romance, it looks like the majority aren't too happy. With Maddie having a pretty controversial past, some Taylor supporters have written an open letter trying to urge the star to address Maddie's controversies, called the Speak Now campaign. The letter calls for more than a simple apology, and when talking about Maddie's actions, the letter states, his actions contribute to hatred, stereotypes, and objectification. The letter goes on to say, use your platform responsibly and intentionally. Advocate and celebrate diversity and promote empathy and understanding. While a few fans disagree with this and believe Taylor should be able to date whoever, they still are seemingly unsure about if Maddie is the right choice. But a moment that really had fans believing Taylor is in her red flag era is when she appeared to sing Lover to Maddie, when the song was initially written for Joe. The clip that is now circulating TikTok definitely has some strong opinions in the comment section. One user wrote, "This is for dad, not him." Another added, "After 6 years, I get moving on, but this was Joe's song." Number 7, we have the onstage antics. Maddie has done some pretty crazy things on stage throughout his career, some of which have had people questioning if he is right for Taylor at all. During his 1975 tour, his performances gained a big reputation for being considered chaotic. The singer has been seen doing push-ups on stage and yelling at security. He even went as far to eat raw meat during his concert. But one thing that really got people talking was his habit of kissing fans. Luckily, he does reportedly always ask for consent, with one of them saying, "He asked before he kissed me. He said, 'We don't have to snog if you don't want to.'" She recalled the moment as an insane experience, and I honestly wouldn't doubt it. But even though he did ask for consent, the internet was still unsure about the whole thing. One Twitter user commented, "It's a completely inappropriate power balance. There's an understood wall between performance artist, and this completely shatters that wall in a dangerous way." Maddie didn't stop there though, and almost exposed himself during another performance. In a clip that was posted to Twitter, shows the singer stripping down to his underwear before nearly showing the world maybe just a little bit too much. One user commented on the clip writing, "I love typing Maddie Healy into the Twitter search bar every other week and catching up with all the crazy stuff he did." Another added, "Somebody lock this man up." Number 6, emasculating. With all the speculation about the relationship between Maddie and Taylor, old interviews have begun resurfacing, and I have to say they do not make Maddie look good. Back in 2016, when he was asked if he was afraid of losing himself in a relationship, he responded by saying, "Yeah, absolutely." Going on to say, "The reason I mentioned that is because if I had gone out with Taylor Swift, I would have been like effing hell. I am not being Taylor Swift's boyfriend. F that." He said that dating Taylor would be emasculating, saying that's also a man thing, an emasculating thing. When the rumors began circulating the two, he claimed in 2014 that there was nothing to it other than flirtation. When talking about this flirtation, he told Q at the time, "I don't do anything else right, so it doesn't leave a lot of room for me going out or shagging someone." Going on to say, "So the one time I did have flirtation with a girl, it ended up everywhere. I mean, I got on E! News and people were like, 'Who's Maddie Healy?' So that was cool." Seeming to like the attention that this brought him back then, he even went on to share in an interview how little Taylor meant to him in 2014. He said, "If she wasn't Taylor Swift, we wouldn't be talking about her. She wasn't a big impact on my life. It's just interesting to me how interested the world is about Taylor Swift." It wasn't long before Taylor's fans came after him, forcing him to defend himself in a series of tweets. He tweeted, "Now I may admit to being an idiot on occasion, but I'm not a misogynist. This suggestion makes me very sad." Number 5, the possible PR move. Could this quick move on from Joe and Maddie ghosting his girlfriend actually be a planned PR move? There's plenty of reasons a celebrity would get into a PR relationship, but what would be in it for each one? For Maddie, it seems a little bit more obvious considering his past isn't always considered the best. Taylor is considered one of the most famous celebrities on the planet right now, and it would definitely look good on him if he were dating such a megastar. His band, the 1975, is still doing amazing, but if he really is dating Taylor, many assume it'll just gain more attention for him, and maybe allow him to look a little bit better in the media. But then, where does this leave Taylor? Some internet detectives believe she could be using this as a way to distract from her breakup, from her long-term boyfriend Joe. Others believe she could be using this to possibly hide another relationship. But what do you guys think about this speculation? Number 4, racism. Maddie is no stranger to being controversial, but his remarks during an interview on the podcast, The Adam Friedland Show, have really landed him in some hot water. In February, Maddie appeared on the podcast, and within 15 minutes, it really took a turn. During the conversation, Maddie and the host made derogatory comments about women, and mocked the Scots language, and both Chinese and Hawaiian accents, as well as calling the Scottish language medieval. This all began when Maddie first mentioned the rapper Ice Spice, sparking a conversation about what her heritage is. They went on to refer to her as Hawaiian, Inuit, and Chinese while mocking the accents. The group also joked about women's periods, discussing how the moon controlled menstrual cycles. One of the hosts said, "It's so funny that women get effed up by the moon. Meanwhile, we went there, men." When Maddie laughed along with this and said, "F yeah." Twitter users shared their thoughts online, with one user writing, "This is all part of why racism exists. They think it's funny. So Some of you are so racist you don't see the racism. It's racism disguised as humor. Another added, Maddie Healy, what the F is wrong with you? This made Swifties question Taylor's decision to allegedly be dating him. A few believe she could be going from a seemingly safe bet of Joe to the bad boy musician who is surrounded in controversy for just a little bit of a change. Number 3, homophobia. Another incident that sparked debate was Maddie making some comments on the Adam Friedland show that could be considered homophobic. During the interview, Maddie says Pink's getting canceled for looking like a lesbian for her career, and now that's being regarded as queerbaiting. Going on to say loads of 18-year-olds are being like, she's done irreparable damage to the lesbian community. The group all then have a conversation involving some pretty homophobic topics, as well as Harry Styles' alleged queerbaiting. Maddie then says when discussing Harry, he gets a pass. I don't know. I don't actually think the gays like it. It's the young girls that think it's a new thing and they're like, oh my god. Twitter users began tweeting how unshocked they were about this whole podcast, with one writing, Maddie Healy being a horrible human part 100. This is another moment that Swifties are using as being a red flag for Taylor. Taylor has been considered a huge part of the LGBT plus community as an ally throughout her career for years. She's even donated quite a bit of money to Tennessee's Equality Project to help push back on the bills that were announced to tear down the community. Taylor also came up with the song You Need to Calm Down, which many consider to be a queer anthem. With her supporting the community over the years, it has made a few Swifties believe that this romance may not work long term if Maddie's controversial humor keeps being an issue. Number 2, we have a repeat of 2014. Could this be a fling for closure from not pursuing something before? Maddie first appeared to be a Swiftie back in 2014 when he wore a Taylor 1989 Swift shirt during one of his concerts with his band, the 1975. Taylor then proved to be a fan of his band too when she shared a video from his concert the same year. The clip showed her and Selena singing along to the single The City. She was then spotted in a 1975 shirt while taking a walk through LA. During a radio interview in 2014, Maddie admitted he met Taylor and that she went backstage at one of his concerts and said, I met Taylor and that was really nice. We exchanged numbers. Let's see what happens. He added at the time, what am I gonna do? Go out with Taylor Swift? She's a sensation, I wouldn't say no. The two at the time never really dated, but it definitely did look like there was a close call at one point. The two have been known to be friends over the years, so maybe this is a chance to see if they made a mistake back in 2014 by not dating. And at number 1, we have Louis Capaldi. Does Maddie's friend and fellow singer Louis Capaldi know more than he's letting on? Louis has his TikTok fans questioning what he knows about his friend and Taylor's rumored romance. In his TikTok, it shows Louis with edited clips and effects over the text that says, random people on the internet preparing to give their thoughts on Taylor Swift, Maddie Healy discourse. Going on to say, the world must hear what I have to say. This really got fans talking, especially since he put quotations over the Taylor Swift and Maddie Healy discourse. Fans took to the comments with one saying, bestie spill the tea, and another adding, so you're saying it's a publicity stunt. Who knows if Louis will ever tell us what he supposedly knows, but it definitely has fans questioning the relationship.
At number 10, we have no wedding ring. Fans were shocked when it was reported that Ariana and Dalton were divorcing, though some people did claim that they knew it was coming, given the fact that Ariana was seen at a recent tennis match without her diamond wedding ring. She was photographed in the crowd at the Wimbledon men's singles final on Sunday, sitting between Andrew Garfield and Jonathan Bailey. While she was reacting to moments from the match, she would often cover her mouth with her hand, and in that way it was pretty obvious that she wasn't wearing her ring. It's possible that she had taken it off to get cleaned, but for such a high-profile event like this, that was less likely. So even though it was only rumors at that point, in this case, the absence of the wedding ring was really significant. Ariana and Dalton got engaged back in December of 2020, and she announced the happy news with an Instagram post showcasing her new rock with a super unique design. It was made up of a large oval diamond with a delicate pearl, and it looked very similar to another pearl ring that she was gifted by her grandma. So there might have been an added sentimental value there. As for the price, well, it was estimated to be worth a whopping $350,000. Number 9, living separate lives. Sources close to Ariana who know about the breakup said that the two of them have been separate since January. They began living separate lives until about May, when they decided to take a shot at their relationship again. But sadly, that only lasted 2 weeks before they both threw in the towel. Apparently, Dalton visited Ariana on the set of the movie Wicked in London, which was a part of a last-ditch attempt to save their marriage, but sadly that didn't work out. It's also been reported that he has moved on from their marriage relatively quickly and has been dating over the past few months, which Ariana is completely fine with. In fact, they've been separated for so long that both of them were apparently shocked that no one picked up on it till today. Then TMZ broke the story that they had gone their separate ways and were headed for divorce. Thankfully, they've been able to stay friends, so there's no bad blood between them. Quote, they came to this decision together. They were having problems before January, but they wanted to remain best friends. It's been said that they've been really good friends throughout the entire process, and their friends and families have been trying to protect them, most likely from going through all the messy divorce drama. Number 8, long distance. After news came out about their separation, a source spoke to People magazine about the contributing factors behind their split, and one of the biggest ones seems to be long distance. As for now, Ariana has been away from home filming the Wicked adaptation in the UK, which means that she's been away for most of the year. And in this specific situation, it's been said that absence did not make the heart grow fonder. The source claimed that she was happy in LA for a couple of years, and she really wanted to make a life there with Dalton. This worked out well for a while, considering that he was super focused on his career as a luxury real estate agent. And for that, he needed to live in LA. But the demands of his career eventually became an issue for them because he was practically stuck in the city, while Ariana's work took her all over the world, and for months at a time. Apparently, when she started filming Wicked in England, they were in for a long-distance marriage, though it eventually got too hard and the relationship broke down. With all things considered, this is completely understandable because it can be difficult to maintain a connection with someone that you can't be physically present with. Number 7, can't handle the fame. It's been said that another contributing factor in their separation was the differences between them. According to reports, Ariana and Dalton couldn't make their marriage work after the pandemic because their lives were vastly different, and that only became more obvious over time. Sources said that when they first hooked up in 2020, they were everything to each other: company, romance, and support. But when the lockdown restrictions were lifted, their differences became alarmingly apparent. Dalton was taken aback by Ariana's celebrity status. He could not comprehend her busy schedule, the intrusive paparazzi, and the various opportunities that took her out of LA. It's been said that he would sometimes question why they needed to go around town with security, which was clearly the only option for someone as famous as Ariana. In the end, it was their differences in lifestyle that started to make the marriage unravel, and it was greatly exacerbated when she went to England last December to start filming Wicked. Unfortunately, this is a story that's all too familiar. Another high-profile relationship recently ended for a similar reason. This one was between Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn. It was said that he didn't like the limelight and that he struggled with her level of fame and the attention that she got from the public. So sometimes it can be too overwhelming for the partner that is not used to that kind of stardom. Number 6, Dalton deactivating Instagram. Back in March, rumors started swirling about the status of their marriage when Dalton deactivated his Instagram account. This happened after he received a flood of hate comments questioning his sexuality. For whatever reason, some fans decided to target him and claim that he was in fact gay. We don't know what these comments look like, but obviously they weren't made in a nice way. Most likely, it was both homophobic and intended to bully him. So it's possible that he was just sick of getting those comments and wanted to get off of social media for a while. This was all pretty upsetting given the fact that the couple have really tried to keep a low profile since they got married. Dalton does have his own Instagram account, but he set it to private shortly after news of their relationship became public. These comments might have been the reason he deactivated his account, but apparently he didn't use Instagram regularly, so it could also mean that he just wanted to delete it for good. Unfortunately, we all know that social media is a cruel place, and in that way it couldn't have been easy for him to deal with negative attention online. When you are a public figure, you obviously get a lot more than a regular person, but someone who isn't used to that might have had their mental health impacted a bit more. Number 5, breakup rumors. Over a year ago, Ariana posted a video doing her makeup while promoting her brand REM Beauty. But it wasn't the makeup that caught everyone's attention, it was the fact that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. If she didn't address it, fans would most likely jump to conclusions and assume that something was going on. Thankfully she did, because she already knew what the internet would say when they didn't spot her ring. She said, "I'm just not wearing my ring, it's getting cleaned. I'm not getting a divorce, so before you start, don't." So she pretty much made it very clear that she was shutting that idea down. Obviously, she has been in the spotlight long enough to know that even the smallest thing can cause a panic online, though it is telling that she felt the need to even address the speculation, because there is always a lot of misogyny going around at times like this, where people are quick to blame women anytime a relationship ends. In response to the divorce news, someone tweeted, "Ariana Grande lost 100k followers on IG following yesterday's rumors. Once again, we have proof that our world is misogynistic and that we always blame women," which is a very sad reflection of where we are as a society. At number 4, not a good fit. For the stability of a long-term relationship, it's been said that you need two things: chemistry and compatibility. and the latter is always more important in long term. Sadly, it seems like that just wasn't the case for Ariana and Dalton, which is not necessarily anyone's fault. An inside source spoke to Entertainment Tonight and explained that they just weren't a good fit from the start. Quote, Ariana and Dalton tried to make things work, but ultimately they just weren't a good fit. Dalton has been very private and low-key about their relationship with his work colleagues and hasn't been talking a lot about their split. Another insider said Ariana and Dalton's friends have always been concerned by their whirlwind romance and felt their relationship would ultimately be short-lived. Their relationship has been rocky at different points and they've had trouble making time for each other with scheduling issues. Before Dalton, Ariana also famously dated and got engaged to SNL's Pete Davidson, which lasted just a few months. But in many ways, they suited each other very well because they were both so used to the limelight. Their relationship was very public and it was one of the most talked about of the year. Of course, that doesn't make it any better than a private one, but it goes to show you that they were very comfortable being seen out together. Number 3, controversies. Though they've managed to keep a relatively low profile since they got together, there was a moment in 2021 which earned Ariana and Dalton a ton of backlash. In June that year, a video of them resurfaced online, which was then shared by various Twitter accounts. A black and white clip showed the two of them with a few of their friends, and they appeared to be participating in a mockery of Native American dance. While sitting at the center of a circle, Ariana was seen to be singing, laughing, and spinning a big piece of cloth around in the air. Other people in the video were said to be making drumming sounds. They also appeared to be attempting to summon a spirit. So it's no surprise that this was deemed offensive, because it seems as though they were making fun of the culture. Soon after it was posted, Ariana deleted the video because she started receiving many negative comments about it. It's possible that fans interpreted this to be something different than what it actually was, but it's also easy to see why it was so upsetting. This incident was part of the reason why some people started to turn against them, which is why Dalton was not particularly popular with fans. Number 2, Pete Davidson's comments. Ariana's ex seemingly put her on blast months after their relationship ended, which some fans took as an outright personal attack. The two of them publicly revealed that they were in a relationship at the end of May of 2018. Things then moved very quickly, and they ended up getting engaged just a few weeks after their relationship started. The whole thing became something of an internet meme, and it really cemented Pete's image as a ladies' man. Several tweets that Ariana made about him created the infamous phrase Big D energy, which Pete quickly became the face of. But just as swiftly as things started, they rapidly came to an end. Shockingly, the pop star went on to describe their romance as an amazing distraction when speaking to Vogue magazine. In response, Pete slammed her on stage during a stand-up performance when he said, "Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow if I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started hating on my ex. Can you imagine?" So obviously he took those comments somewhat to heart. And coming in at number 1 at the fan reaction. News of Ariana's divorce has been getting quite a lot of attention recently, which is pretty much as expected. But what's really interesting is how people feel about Dalton now, because he's the one that seems to be getting most of the criticism. One person tweeted, "The Dalton boy dated, proposed, and married Ariana Grande, knowing very well she's Ariana Grande, then gets shocked when she's followed by security everywhere. Has he seen how her fans behave? Boy, you should have dated Normani if you wanted a normal private life." In response, another person wrote, "The same problem was at first with Miley and Liam. Girls are just too big to date someone that basic." Another fan tweeted, "What is it with these Z-listers getting into relationships with A-listers and then hating on how famous they are? Like, did you not know how famous she was before?" There were even people that blamed Dalton for stealing Ariana Grande away from her fans. They also said that these differences in their lifestyles were bound to come out when someone famous marries someone who isn't, while others expressed how pathetic it is that there are insecure, unsupportive men getting into relationships with incredible women just to bring them down.